Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? I hope you are good today. In this video, like you have seen from the title, we're going to be doing a comparison between the Amazfit GTS 2 and the Amazfit GTR 2. Now, these look like they are very different smartwatches, but actually they are basically exactly the same. They were released at exactly the same time. They were developed by the same company. They're both Amazfit smartwatches. The internals of these smartwatches are pretty much identical, but there are some very small differences between these two smartwatches. Obviously the design, but there are also some other things that you should pay attention to, that you should consider when choosing between the two. Obviously we're going to talk about the design and the build and the quality of these smartwatches. I have worn them both considerably over the past couple of months. The GTR 2 I wore for about a month and a half when I was reviewing it, and the GTS 2 I've just done my review of it and I've been wearing for the past couple months as well. So yeah, I know these watches very well, and I will give you my personal opinion, but I'm going to tell you every difference between these two smartwatches. So if you're trying to choose between the two, then stay tuned. You are about to see what the differences are. Let's go. So the GTS 2 and the GTR 2, like I said, are basically identical when it comes to the internal hardware. They both feature second generation PPG heart rate trackers. They both feature SpO2 sensor. They both feature internal GPS, accelerometer, an ambient light sensor, a gyroscope, so they can measure. They both have the same 12 fitness tracking modes, and they both have speakers and microphones. They are both waterproof to 5 meters. So, you know, in terms of what they can actually do, they're pretty much identical. I've reviewed both of these watches and I found both of them to be decent fitness and health trackers thanks to all of those sensors. They are fairly accurate, not the best, but not the worst. They have a lot of stuff in there for the price, and they both look really good. So as you can see, they are pretty much identical in terms of functionality, but when it comes to design, you really couldn't get much more different, could you? One is circular, the GTR 2, R standing for round, and the GTS 2, the S standing for square. So pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, but that does make a big difference because it affects how comfortable it is to wear, it affects how you use it, affects how it looks, and obviously we all have our personal opinion. Apart from the fact that one is square and one is round, there are some differences in the screen, the thickness and stuff like that. The GTS 2 is the thinner of the two smartwatches. The GTS 2 is 9.7 millimeters thick, whereas the GTR 2 is 10.7 millimeters thick. Now the difference there is not massive, but it is something to consider. What is quite different is that the GTS 2 is also lighter by quite some margin. It is about 15 grams lighter than the GTR 2, which can make a difference in terms of comfort. Also, I find just wearing the GTR 2 is a little bit more bulky if you're wearing it with you know, a thin shirt or a long sleeve jumper. It's going to show more in that. It's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable. I certainly found the GTS 2 more comfortable to wear when working out and when sleeping. It didn't really interfere or I didn't find it uncomfortable at any point. So in terms of comfort and how compact the smartwatch is, the GTS 2 is definitely better for me personally, but I think most people would probably agree with that as well. Now, just in terms of design, obviously there is a difference here. The GTR 2 is the sleeker, I think more classic looking. If you just glanced at it, you may not even realize it's a smartwatch depending on what screen you select. Using this screen in particular, it basically looks like a classic watch. I think the edge-to-edge display and the black body just and the buttons that you know, we find on classic watches as well, they're definitely trying to replicate that kind of look, and I think it looks really good, especially for the price. The GTS 2 is definitely more of a smartwatchy smartwatch. You can't really mistake it for anything else. It definitely is kind of the standard smartwatch design, probably inspired from the Apple Watch, which I have here. They're kind of similar square rectangular display with just one button. So yeah, they are definitely taking some inspiration from the Apple Watch there. Overall, I prefer the GTS 2 just again in terms of comfort because of the square display. I think it's just a bit more comfortable and a bit more easier to use, but I will admit that the GTR 2 is probably the better looking just because of that classic design. I think it looks really good. Obviously, that is going to be a matter of opinion and a matter of what kind of style you're into. So yeah, that is kind of basically the main difference, is that design, but yeah, that's going to be something completely up to you. The other major difference between the two smartwatches is the screen. While they both feature bright, colorful AMOLED displays, there is some differences here. The GTS2 is larger. It features a 1.65-inch AMOLED display, whereas the GTR is just 1.39 inches. So that is actually quite a significant difference. It means that the GTS2 is going to be able to display more information, more data, and on its watch faces, it's going to be able to show more stuff as well. So that is something to consider. However, I will say, just looking at the two smartwatches side by side, even though, you know, technically the GTS2 is the larger, I just find the GTR2, it just looks larger to me. I don't know what it is, but the screen just looks larger. I think because it's round. But yeah, because of that round display, I think it means it cuts off a lot. The GTS2 also comes in more colors, so the color body, they're both black here, but the GTS2 also comes in gray and gold, so there is a bit more choice there, whereas the GTR2 is only in this black color. While the GTS2 has the larger screen, the GTR2 comes back a little bit because it actually has a higher resolution display. The GTR2 has a resolution of 454 by 454 pixels, whereas the GTS2 is just 348 by 442 pixels. There is going to be a difference there. You're going to notice that the GTR2, the icons are a little bit sharper. The text is a little bit easier to read, I guess. The text is a little bit sharper and just overall going to look slightly better, but the difference is not massive. I'm just looking at them both right here, and obviously you can see on the screen, on this display. And obviously I'm going to show you here, you can see the difference close up between the two. I don't think there's much difference at all. I can't really see a huge difference, so maybe slightly, but nothing to really distinguish them that much. So the final difference between these two watches is the battery life. Now, we all hate technology that runs out of battery really quickly. I definitely do. It's one of my worst bugbears. For example, the Apple Watch, while it is amazing, runs out of battery after about a day. So these two smartwatches both last for much longer than that, so that is great. Amazfit does produce technology that lasts longer than most. However, there is a difference here. The GTS2 lasts for about a week on average. Actually, that's pretty much the maximum if you have most of the features activated. However, the GTR2 lasts for 2 weeks, so that is, obviously you can work out double the battery life, so that is quite significant, and that may convince you to get the GTR2. For me, it's not that big of a deal. A week is more than enough for me for a smartwatch. It only takes around about 40 minutes to charge, but yeah, there is a big difference there. I can only guess it's because the GTS2 has that larger screen. So guys, that's it. That is the differences between these two smartwatches. Very, very similar. Identical operating system, identical features in terms of functionality, hardware, that kind of stuff. The difference really is the design. Which one do you prefer, a classic design or a more smart watch design? The larger screen, more data available on the GTS2, as well as a thinner, lighter, sleeker body, more comfortable to wear. However, the GTR2, the longer battery life, the higher resolution display, and probably the more attractive of the two smartwatches. So those are the differences. It's going to be up to you which one you decide. I think they're both pretty good. I think they're both good value for money when it comes to fitness tracking, with some extra smartwatch features thrown in there as well. If you didn't want to spend too much like on an Apple Watch, these are going to be able to keep you going for the next couple of years, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's it guys. Let me know what you think. Which one would you get, the GTS2 or the GTR2? Let me know in the comments. If you like this channel, if you like this video, please subscribe. It would be great if you did. Check back. I'm going to have plenty of new smartwatch and smartphone videos coming in the next few months. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you around. Stay healthy. Bye.